Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has said Canadians were not impressed by the UK government's invitation to US President Donald Trump for a second state visit, saying it undermined his government's effort to project a united front against the US president's talk of annexing Canada. Prime Minister of the UK Sir Keir Starmer handed the invitation to the US president during a visit to the Oval Office in February. The newly elected Carney told Sky News that the UK's invitation earlier this year did not help Canadians, who were facing repeat comments from Trump about making Canada the 51st US state. The former Bank of England governor was re-elected after a campaign fought on the promise of standing up to American threats to Canadian statehood. He had refused to speak to Mr. Trump until Canadian sovereignty was respected. Carney said, "To be frank, Canadians weren't impressed by that gesture, given the circumstances. It was at a time when we were being quite clear about the issues around sovereignty." Asked whether the invitation was appropriate, Carney said that was a decision for the government of the UK and Buckingham Palace. "I leave the diplomacy to the UK government. As always, we have a set of questions to answer. What is the reaction of King Charles III until now to Trump's comments to make Canada the 51st state of the United States? What's behind Trump's making Canada the 51st state of the US remarks means? And why is the UK government so keen to invite Trump?" Before I proceed, I encourage you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your views on the topic in the comments section below. Your feedback is invaluable for us and a wider audience around the world. Since taking office in January, Trump has repeatedly said he wants Canada to become the 51st US state, a suggestion that has angered Canadians and left Britain trying to tread a fine line between the two North American countries. Britain's King Charles is also head of state of Canada, a former British colony, and the monarch has made a number of symbolic gestures in recent months, wearing Canadian medals, planting a maple tree, and referring to himself as the King of Canada. The criticism from Carney comes as the Canadians prepare to welcome King Charles III and Queen Camilla at the end of this month for a royal visit. Carney said his invitation for the King, Canada's head of state, to attend the opening of Canada's Parliament is not coincidental. All issues around Canada's sovereignty have been accentuated by the president. So no, it's not coincidental, but it is also a reaffirming moment for Canadians. During his visit, the King will also read the speech from the throne, a function usually carried out by the Governor-General. The last time this happened was in October 1977 when Queen Elizabeth II read the speech for the second time in Canada's history. The first was in 1957. But, what's behind Trump's making Canada the 51st state of the US remarks means? Upon his return to the White House, Trump has consistently made remarks that challenge Canada's sovereignty, suggesting that the Canadian border is merely an artificially drawn line. This could be interpreted as Trump exerting increasing pressure on Canada to secure a favorable trade agreement. In contrast, Carney has emphatically stated that Canada is not for sale, ever. He also mentioned that he would only engage with the US president until we receive the respect we deserve. Nevertheless, Carney met with Trump in Washington, D.C. last week to initiate discussions on a new trade and security partnership. During this meeting, Trump reiterated his comments about Canada becoming the 51st state. Carney rationalized his decision to make his inaugural foreign trip as Prime Minister to the White House by indicating that Trump's intentions regarding the annexation of Canada had evolved from an expectation to a mere desire. He acknowledged that while there was a shift in Trump's perspective, he also recognized that such an annexation was unlikely to occur. Despite a potential thaw in relations between the United States and Canada, Carney remained cautious. His guiding principle is always plan for the worst. Consequently, no assumptions are being made. We do prepare for the possibility of no agreement. We do prepare for challenges in the security relationship. We do prepare for the global trading system not being reconstituted, and that is the appropriate approach to take with this president. However, why is the UK government so keen to invite Trump? Starmer, who is trying to improve trading ties with the US after Britain left the European Union, has sought to play to its strengths when dealing with Trump, talking up its security expertise, pledging higher defense spending, and offering the pomp and pageantry that comes with a state visit. Trump, whose mother was born in Britain and who has repeatedly praised the British royal family, agreed a limited bilateral trade agreement with London this month. Asked about Carney's criticism, senior British Minister Pat McFadden said that every country had to decide how to conduct its relations with other countries. So it's clear that trade matters for the UK more than anything else as it left the European Union and has to walk alone. The United States is the largest trade partner of the UK. In 2024, the UK imported about $76 billion of goods from the United States, which is 9.7% of all goods imports, and exported $79 billion of goods, which is 16.2% of all goods exports, according to the Office for National Statistics UK. The UK and the US engage in a wide range of trade, with machinery and transport equipment, fuels, and chemicals being major import categories from the US to the UK. Conversely, the UK exports cars, gas turbines, and packaged medicaments to the US. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for new videos on important international topics.